Hello. I'd like to talk about Blades of Glory. Can I talk about Blades of Glory just really quick? This is one of those movies that you find multiple copies of on DVD in every single thrift store ever. Do you know what I mean? I feel like in the present day, it's understood to be a typical sort of homophobic comedy movie from the 2000s, using the idea of like a male ice skating pair as a joke. And in some ways, yes, it is, but also maybe it really is gay after all. Just bear with me, okay? Just hold on. I assume that you've seen the film. If you've not, well, it's a heated rivalry on ice. Chazz Michaels, the ice skating bad boy, versus Jimmy McElroy, the elegant by-the-book prodigy. They have a scrap on the winner's podium at the men's skating championships after they tie for the gold and end up banned from their division. A few years later, washed up, Chazz is skating in a children's ice show and getting hammered every night, and Jimmy's working in a skating supply store. Jimmy's stalker convinces Jimmy that he can skate again in a pair, but there's no women skaters available for him to pair up with, so, surprising everyone, Jimmy's coach, Robert, inspired by a news report where he sees him scrapping it out ballet style, pairs him up with Chazz, and hijinks ensue. Chazz and Jimmy's arc, for the most part, I think reads as pretty much just platonic. Like, to me, maybe it's just because I personally cannot see Will Ferrell as a convincingly sexual being. Like, I am anti-Fujoing out about Chazz and Jimmy. But if you're into it, there is a bit to suggest that Chazz is, like, actually into Jimmy himself.
Don't wanna close my eyes, don't wanna fall asleep, 'cause I miss you, Jimmy.
Even though he's trying to help Jimmy get together with Pam from The Office. Like, this scene at the end.
You've been practicing.
Just taught me some stuff.
I'm not personally sailing this ship, I'm so sorry, but I do really enjoy the journey, and I have so much genuine, like, completely unironic love for this ridiculous film. Like, you know, I really enjoy the friendship journey, your classic rivals turn buddies kind of story. They have to learn to work together, they have to learn to respect each other, and in the end, Chazz and Jimmy become real friends. My partner pointed out to me that during the training scenes, Jimmy is seen in Adidas workout wear while Chazz wears Puma, and once they start becoming friends, they switch sportswear brands, and I think that's a really cute observation. We love a visual representation of connection there. Pause, because we need some appreciation for all the outfits, actually. Costume appreciation break. Now going. This movie's costumes are actually so enticing to my eyeballs, like it's such 2000s deliciousness. A million thank yous should be given to the movie's costumer, Julie Weiss, for making everything slay. This LA Times article I found chronicles how Weiss absolutely depleted global supplies of Swarovski crystals for this film, and honestly, it paid off. Obviously, the on-ice costumes for Chazz and Jimmy, there's a lot to say here. We open the movie with them in their textbook diametrically opposed looks. Jimmy with the peacock and this hysterical bird hand detail is so camp. It's delicious. Apparently, they used 10 different fabrics and vintage feathers and sequins from Bob Mackie and Ray Agayan's legendary shop, and they're fashion legends apparently, so wow. And then Chazz with the like leather cowboy look, again probably very sexy if you're into Will Ferrell. Their next skating costumes are their first pair skate looks, where they push the red versus blue dichotomy even further with a classic fire and ice theme, showing how they're still kind of at odds with each other at the beginning of their partnership. The fire costume is the one that Will Ferrell is wearing on the DVD cover, but John Heda's costume is the peacock one, and I just think we shouldn't have mixed costumes here actually, but fine. These fits are iconic, and the routine of course is doubly so. Finishing on a scissoring pose is really something. They said lesbian rights. Their final pair's costume is a futuristic look, which is probably my least favourite of the three sets, but you know, from a costuming as narrative device, now that they're in sync with each other as partners, they wear matching costumes instead of diametrically opposed ones, and that's growth. And then because I haven't mentioned them yet, but because it's not relevant to the thesis of the video, but we do need to talk about the fits on Amy Poehler and Will Arnett. They have the really comedy skating costumes, like they've got this nice one, but then they've got this white people being urban look that just absolutely kills me dead every time, and then the JFK ex Marilyn Monroe very bad taste joke where Amy gets to employ full evil mode with the fake pearls. Delicious again. I'm also just obsessed with their casual wear. Like, why are they wearing all of this just to lounge around on the couch? That's villainous opulence for you, 2000 style. And speaking of villainous opulence, these animal prints, hello, also top tier are these matching pink and purple outfits. Oh my god, slay every time, slay every single time. Plus, I love the Jimmy and Pam date scene where Pam is like all dolled up like Amy Poehler's character and Jimmy is in Chazz's borrowed clothes. It's just very funny and silly and I love it. Also, we need to highlight Pam's other outfits actually because they are cute and they do say a little something about her like as a character. Most of the time, you know, when they're at skating events as a team, she's dressed in a way more closely aligned with her siblings, either in matching sportswear or something on theme. I think this brown look here that goes with their animal prints is her best. And then when she's dressing for herself, she wears these more like cutesy, twee type fits. Honestly, so cute, so very, very cute. Nothing but love. I absolutely love these costumes. Love, 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 love. Okay, let me get back to my original topic. So the actual real and like textually canon gay pairing in Blades of Glory is Coach Robert and choreographer Jesse. At a certain point in my life, I accepted that the coach and Jesse were romantically entangled, but as I got older, I was like, wait, why do I think this? Did I just like get a vibe and decide to ship based on them standing next to each other? Actually, the evidence is quite clearly on screen, though consistently in the background. About a third of the way into the film, Coach brings Chazz and Jimmy to his house, or like his cabin, and inside we see a whole lot of stained glass. It's his hobby, and in fact Coach has made all of the stained glass art around the place, as in an earlier scene we can see that he's working on a piece seemingly depicting a guy getting slashed in the throat with an ice skate, so perhaps that's foreshadowing the Iron Lotus move later in the movie. During a couple of the interior scenes in the house, we can see an undeniably romantic stained glass depiction of a shorter black man and a taller white man, and we also have these photos on the fridge. I mean, that's them, right? We've got the cuddle here on top of the Matt Damon headshot, the posing in the feather boa here. Coach seems like pretty butch in most of his actual scenes, but this is gay. He's like an old camp queen. Like, look at the Cher photo and the Cher flyer pinned reverently on the fridge. Much to think about. Plenty of gay evidence to consider. This is why Coach is so pro male skating, and probably why he threw in the scissoring move for his lesbian friends from the gay bar too. You know what I'm saying? All of my points said, though, it looks like Coach and Jesse don't live together, since Jesse isn't ever seen at the house, and when they do share scenes, it's always at work, either at the warehouse training space that they sort of engineer, or at the skating events. Plus, Jesse seems kind of like snippy and exasperated with Coach in their scenes during Chazz and Jimmy's training. So, my theory is that they're actually exes. They were in a relationship, and I think it's clear that Robert is still hung up on Jesse considering the fridge and stained glass of it all, but maybe Jesse grew tired of Coach's obsessiveness and they split, and that's why he acts all reluctant to help him because he doesn't want to get sucked into all the nonsense again. But he caves because ultimately, that's his boo. How can he say no to this face? Look at that puppy dog enthusiasm. Also, this actor, Romany Malco, I don't know. Look at his acting here in this scene. To me, this speaks volumes about their history and the way that Jesse feels about Robert. I don't know. Maybe after the big victory, they might be able to come back together. That's just Loren's headcanon, though, because after Chazz and Jimmy's big win, we don't see any more scenes of Robert and Jesse together. But maybe after changing the skating world, you know, Coach Robert mellows out and Jesse realizes her feelings aren't totally gone and they reconcile at a share show or something. In any case, even if they're not together, like, the gay is there. The gay was always there. Streaming services, get this movie into your LGBT section, stat. So that's it. Let me know if you ever noticed the Coach X Jesse of it all before when you're watching Blades of Glory. Just a short one there, but thank you very much for watching this video. If you've made it this far, thank you. And you will see me again if there is another one. Goodbye!